Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today we are reviewing the latest addition, first of new weapons, Valkyrie, and especially its 4-star legendary effect. When attacking outside of VATS, deal 50% bonus, weak point damage, and yeah, the description doesn't really tell you what it's doing. It's not accurate, unfortunately, so we'll discuss what exactly this legendary mod is doing. The weapon itself is a Gatling laser. It's a regular Gatling laser, not ultra sight one. It comes already modified, so you don't need to change anything. It's modified well. The one thing you could consider, if you don't like vicious Gatling laser receiver, you could go for calibrated. But it's already modified well, and I wouldn't change a thing. It's how it's supposed to be. It performs great. We'll go into the demonstration soon. The important factors about the weapon. It comes with extra slower breakage, what can be very useful. Lower hipfire accuracy, it's slightly lower, that's nothing terrible. It's perfectly usable, so the negative I would not worry about. It's very little. The weapon cannot be traded. It is dropping from new raid, first encountered, so this is a turret that you can farm solo, which is a good news, so most likely will be able to get the weapon, as well as a plan for it. If you get a plan, you will be able to craft them, and that will cost you 2 legendary modules and a little bit of resources. You will find it under weapons workbench. Okay, you need to exit power armor. Heavy guns, and then scroll to the bottom, Valkyrie. As you can see, it can be crafted from level 25. I do not know why you would do that, outside of one reason. There is one reason I know why. You can craft it level 25 to scrap it for legendary mod boxes. Yes, you can use it to scrap, and legendary module cost is only 2. So it's very efficient way to unlock the legendary mod boxes. First, second, third, and 4th star. They're all good. As first is damage against robots, that doubles as armor box mod if you drop it, that reduces damage taken from robots on armor. Weapon speed is amazing. The star number 3 is bad. 10% chance to cause the player to be invisible for 2 seconds. This is a terrible one. Then another one is the new 4-star we'll be discussing. It's a good one. And now, if you scrap it, at least if you try to scrap it, it will show you what you can get and what you can learn. So the 4-star legendary mod is called Bullies. It is learnable. So you could learn it in order to then craft more, or just drop a ready one. I didn't learn it yet, even though I scrapped quite a lot of Valkyrie. The 4-star legendary mods are quite hard to learn, in my opinion. Unless I'm super unlucky, I cannot get them. So as it is a Gatling laser and not an ultra-sight Gatling laser, so its damage is slightly lower than it could have been otherwise. Let me load my full health heavy gunner raid runner build, and let's go to use this weapon. With this build, damage is up to 80, which is very respectable. If you plan to use this weapon, as all Gatling lasers with charging barrels, you should be using in first person, as it's still a thing that it offers a quick burst. When you hold the button, you see a quick burst of damage. Now it's unique 4-star legendary effect. It says out of VATS. The thing is, it has nothing to do with VATS, and it does work in VATS. Now I want it to fire slowly, so I intentionally switched to third-person perspective. Now, how this effect actually works. So if you see the first shot, 128, and then goes up to 182, it's caused by this legendary effect. So I was thinking in the past it's good for snipers. It is not, because your first bullet does not apply the effect. Only after that you get this extra effect. So in case of Scourge Beast, the first one is normal, then it's higher, and criticals are really good. So that's boosted damage. It only works when you see yellow numbers. When I shoot the torso, you see the first one was higher damage, then drop. So surprisingly, if I hit the head, it applies the bonus. Then regardless what I hit, I have this bonus for one shot. It takes one shot to activate, and it takes one shot to deactivate the bonus, which is very weird mechanics. I've never seen anything like that. And it's not really about the weak spot, it's about the yellow numbers. If you cannot have yellow numbers, if enemy does not have specific yellow number spot, which is not the same as weak spot, that's why I'm saying yellow number spot. For most enemies, it aligns. Scourge Beast, humanoids, all of those, it will align, and yellow numbers will be a weak spot. But in case of robots, let's say Protectrons, you will get a bonus when shooting a Protectron head, because it's yellow number. But Protectron head is not a weak spot. So this 50% bonus is very tricky with this weapon, I would say, to understand. It activates when you shoot a yellow number spot on enemy. If enemy does not have any yellow number spot, like for example Assaultrons, then you will not be able to activate this bonus, even though in case of Assaultrons the weak spot will be legs or arms and they will take more damage there. You will not activate the bonus this way. It only activates when shooting whatever gives you a yellow numbers. It works in VATS and outside of VATS. It's giving the solid 50% bonus to your damage for most enemies. The yellow numbers align, so this is a good news. The robots are the main exception that it doesn't align and doesn't work very well. And then all the endgame bosses, the numbers do align, so you will get the bonus when shooting a weak spot. So that's a good news. So solid, very solid legendary effect. I do recommend it. It's additive, not multiplicative, like the only one, the pinpointers, that's multiplicative. For some reason, we don't know if intentionally or not. This is a standard 50%, the same like the top 50%. Just applies whenever you are hitting a yellow number spot, which quite often aligns with a weak spot on your enemies. So very solid weapon overall, with this extra durability already modded like it's supposed to be. Will still lose versus properly modded Gatling Plasma with good legendary effects, or Ultra Sight Gatling Plasma, Gatling Laser, but you can get this really good 4-star legendary effect that can be used then on other weapons if you scrap a lot of Valkyrie. So the main purpose for this weapon, after you have them a lot, it's scrapping them. If you cannot modify Ultra Sight Gatling Laser, you do not know plans, this alone comes already modified quite well, so you can use it. Unfortunately, you cannot swap any of the legendary effects on it. You cannot change it, so that's a big downside. It will never be a king, but it's solid. It's a solid weapon. For me, the main purpose is extracting the 4-star legendary out of it for this weapon. And that being said, I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.